If you think you're a victim of alcoholism, you need to watch this video. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe. I practiced emergency medicine for 40 years, and I've been sober myself for 28. I've spent decades trying to help people understand and overcome this disease, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. As my own recovery took root and started giving me a life of meaning and joy, I learned that one of the best ways to nurture my sobriety was to help others. And that's what we're doing here today. We're tackling a mindset that at best stands in the way of recovery and at worst can have fatal consequences. That mindset is adopting the mantle of victimhood. When someone tells me I'm a victim of alcoholism, it disturbs me for two reasons. First, because that person was going to be a tough nut to crack. And second, because unless they abandoned that idea, their life was likely to keep spiraling down toward a very bad ending. I've watched that movie too many times, and I don't want you starring in it. The promise I make you is simple. I'm going to explain exactly why taking the identity of victim of alcoholism is like accepting a life sentence of regret and wasted years. More importantly, in this video, I will lay out a concrete mindset shift that can start tearing down that identity today. What you'll learn here can open the door to the life you deserve. Let's start with the fatal lie, victimhood as destiny. The first reason this mindset is so damaging is that it equates being a victim of alcoholism with having a destiny to keep drinking. I cringe when I hear, "I drink because I'm alcoholic." It sounds like honesty, but it's really an excuse. It lets you off the hook before you even try. Worse, it says, "There's no point in stopping, the disease will drag me back anyway." That isn't honesty. That's giving up, dressed as insight. If alcoholism itself caused drinking, then explain the billions of people who drink without detonating their lives. That one simple observation breaks the spell. The disease does not cause the act. The act awakens the disease. Here's the malignant corollary. Because alcoholism is progressive and chronic, if you see yourself as a victim, you conclude you're doomed to crave and eventually give in. You tell yourself the engine is always running and you're just a passenger. That feels like relief for 5 minutes. Then it becomes a cage. And inside that cage live 1,000 doomed experiments. You know them, I knew them. Only beer, only weekends, never alone. Never before 5. One by one, those rules were broken. Each failure reinforces the story. See, I'm powerless. I'm a victim. But what it really proves is this. Trying to manage active alcoholism with half measures is like trying to bail out a sinking boat with a thimble. You don't need a better thimble. You need to stop the leak. That brings us to the self-pity trap. Victimhood sits on a foundation of self-pity. And self-pity feels like a safe harbor. It's quiet. It's familiar. It explains why you feel the way you feel. From the outside and from the other side of sobriety, you can see that that harbor is a prison. The walls are built from 3 bricks: injury, unfairness, and inevitability. I've been hurt. It's not fair. It can't be changed. Stack those 3 and you will not move. Self-pity is a remarkably effective defense mechanism. What is it defending against? Change. Change means discomfort. It means accountability. It means standing up and saying, the first drink is my decision, and I'm choosing not to take it today. Self-pity says, why bother? The deck is stacked. The universe owes me a pass. That's not relief, that's paralysis. And in the paralysis, the bottle looks like motion. But it isn't motion, it's quicksand. And self-pity spreads. Families feel it, friends catch it, co-workers enable it. People who love you begin from compassion, then slide into pity, then into justification. He's had such a hard life. She's under so much stress. He can't help it, he's sick. Before long, everyone's dancing around the truth because the truth is uncomfortable. As long as drinking continues, the disease keeps winning. Your loved ones will shield you from consequences because they care. and the shielding will keep you sick because it works. That cycle, self-pity inside and pity outside, creates a feedback loop that deepens the rut and broadens the damage. The circle widens and everybody bleeds. Now let's tackle a critical question head on. How can you say that someone who's lost a job, a marriage, and their savings because of alcohol isn't a victim? It certainly looks like victimhood. Here's the key distinction. Alcoholism doesn't care why you drink. Trauma, stress, genes, celebration. The disease is indifferent to your reasons. It only wakes up after alcohol is introduced. Think of the condition as dry tinder. The first drink is the match. In some people, when alcohol hits the system, the disease degrades the brain's inhibitory pathways, the braking system that says that's enough. Over time, as the disease progresses, that braking system fails more quickly and more completely. The result? Control is lost and it is not regained. Long abstinence doesn't restore safe drinking. It only restores a clear choice not to reactivate the disease. Let me state emphatically, you are not responsible for having this medical condition. We don't have a single tidy cause to point to. Genetics matter, environment matters, history matters. And the common myth, if you drink enough you'll become alcoholic, doesn't stand up to clinical reality. Plenty of heavy drinkers never meet diagnostic criteria, and plenty of alcoholics aren't the heaviest drinkers in the room. The condition is real, and it's not your fault. Now let's turn to the solution, the mindset shift that changes everything. You've reached a fork in the road, and you've begun to see another path is available. You can stay alcohol's victim and keep living an unfulfilling, shrinking life another day, another year, another decade. Or you can try something different. That something different is not mastering better rules around drinking. It's rejecting the rules game entirely. It's stepping into a life without intoxication, period. So the victimhood never materializes. That path will feel unfamiliar. It did for me. When you've used alcohol to regulate your emotions, structure your day, reward your effort, ease your sleep, and manage your social life, taking it away feels like ripping out a load-bearing wall. Of course you're scared the house will collapse. That fear makes sense. But here's the truth. That wall wasn't load-bearing. It was rotten. When you pull it out, the structure doesn't crumble. It may groan, it may creak, then it settles. And now you can rebuild with materials that don't break down. How do you start? Make the decision not to drink today. Don't grandstand, don't make speeches, and don't promise forever. Start with today. Not drinking today is specific, measurable, and achievable. If your brain races to tomorrow, pull it back. We're not doing tomorrow, we're doing today. If it jumps to forever, pull it back again. We're not doing forever, we're doing today. Keep the fight on the ground where you can win it. Expect discomfort. Expect a restless mind. Expect your brain to bargain. Just one. You deserve it. You can handle it now. That's the disease, not your character. When those thoughts show up, treat them like a passing car on the highway. You don't have to climb into it. Let it pass. Your job is to stay on the shoulder. Breathe, hydrate, eat real food, and move your body. Call someone who gets it. Get to a meeting. Pray if you pray. Journal if you journal. But don't pour. Not today. Here's why this works. The antidote to self-pity is satisfaction. And you earn satisfaction by accumulating days of not drinking. On day 1, satisfaction is a flicker. On day 3, it's a spark. And on day 10, it's a pilot light. That tiny delicious feeling that shows up in the middle of anxiety and insomnia, that's freedom. It's small at first, but it grows when you feed it. You feed it with honest days. Not perfect days, not pretty days. Honest days where you don't drink. Let me offer a simple strategy I've used that's helped me and I've watched it help others. Each night, ask 3 questions. First, did I drink today? If the answer is no, you've won the only non-negotiable. And that's not nothing. That's the cornerstone. Second, ask, what did I do that helped? And name it. I took a walk. I ate breakfast. I texted a friend. I said no. Stack the evidence that you can do this. And third, what can I improve tomorrow? One small concrete thing. I'll throw out the wine in the pantry. I'll delete that delivery app. I'll set a coffee date with someone at 7 a.m. We're not chasing perfection. We're building momentum. Let's also address the fear that letting go of the victim identity will leave you unmoored, like you're cutting an anchor and beginning to drift into danger. That's how it feels in the beginning. Here's the paradox. That anchor isn't holding you in safe water. It's wrapped around your ankle and it's pulling you under. Letting it go doesn't set you adrift. It sets you free. Once you're on the surface, you can breathe again, and navigation becomes possible. You can ask for help. You can learn new routes. You can pick your destination, one that doesn't end up at the bottom. If you're hearing this and thinking, but I've quit before and I've always gone back, I want you to hear one thing. That doesn't prove you're a victim. It proves you tried to keep a foot in both worlds. You tried to white-knuckle abstinence without rebuilding a new life. Recovery isn't a pause. It's a replacement. In your life, alcohol was doing jobs. Badly and with a terrible hourly rate, but it was doing jobs. Soothing, socializing, celebrating, numbing. In sobriety, those jobs still need doing. You don't ignore them, you reassign them. Sleep gets healthier tools. Stress gets movement and structured rest. Social life gets honesty. Celebration gets presence. And numbing gets replaced with real relief. If your life isn't unfolding the way you imagined, and you suspect alcohol is part of it, here's the blunt truth. Continuing to drink guarantees more of the same, and worse. Choosing abstinence, even for a short while, gives you one variable that changes the entire equation: clarity. You cannot fix what you refuse to see, and you cannot see clearly while you're pouring fog into your own eyes. Let me reiterate. You are not responsible for having alcoholism. You are responsible for the choices that activate it. That's not blame, that's power. If the first drink is the switch, you can decide not to flip it today. If you do flip it, the disease runs the room. And if you don't, then you run the room, imperfectly and awkwardly at first, then with growing confidence. Remember, giving up drinking doesn't mean giving up anything real. It means opening the door to the life you deserve. A life that is not a theory. It's mornings with a clear head, conversations you can remember, trust that rebuilds, and the quiet pride of doing what you said you would do. If you recognize this in yourself, you have a stark choice. Stay in the shrinking room called victimhood, or open the door and walk outside. That door is unlocked, and the handle is on your side. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment below. I read them all and will respond. And when you're ready, watch this next video where I lay out the warning signs your drinking is becoming a problem and how to respond early before the house catches on fire. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe, and I'll see you in the next one.